You're watching HCAM TV.
Good evening and welcome to the Gathering in Quarantine. I'm Terry Malisi. Welcome. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Terry, how we doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. But I need some comfort.
Well, I think you've come to the right place because
Really?
tonight's dinner is a comforting dinner, and the reason being would be what's right behind you. Vote 2020. Every vote counts. So here's the deal, and I don't mean to sound like anyone, you might know who says that a lot, but here is the deal. No matter who you voted for on Tuesday, we all need a little comfort, especially with what's going on with the counting process. So I thought tonight we would have a comforting dinner. And I happen to get all my recipes from this lovely book over here that Dom DeLuise wrote back in, I want to say either the 70s or 80s, I can't even tell you, but it's Eat This, It Will Make You Feel Better. Now, my mother, way back in the 80s, she gave a copy of this book to the females of the family. And let me tell you, it has all of the favorites in it, and it's got recipes from his friends who were stars: Burt Reynolds, Lonnie Anderson, the Reagans. I mean, you name it, they're all in here. And so tonight's meal is all from this book.
That's
and the menu is going to be Viva Montalban salad with Dom's vinaigrette, veal piccata, Dom's sister's green beans, and pears in red wine. So what do you think, Mike? You think that might, put you in your comfort zone?
Well, let's put it this way. Huge fan of Dom DeLuise. Huge. And if anyone knows comfort food, it was that man.
Yes.
And I know the book you're talking about, and it was 1988 when that was published.
Beautiful.
And yes, the guy was just fantastic. He was. I used to hear the stories on the interviews when you're watching, Carson or Mike Douglas or Merv Griffin, right?
And not Michael Douglas.
No,
Mike Douglas.
Mike Douglas.
That's right.
And watching those shows and the interviews, and you heard the stories from Burt and all the other stars, how they loved Dom's cooking.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was excited when you were telling me about this, where it came from. And then, of course, I'm lucky and fortunate enough to get the menu ahead of time.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to take the book right here. I'm going to hold it up so everyone can see it, because you can find it on eBay, Amazon. It's still around.
But it's only like $4.
What caught my attention, right? The last show you mentioned, you don't cook with salt and pepper, do you? And it's so funny because right here on this page, he's got a little paragraph called Me and Salt. And I just want to take a second and read it to you.
Sure.
It says, salt may be good for melting ice in your driveway, but let's face it, it's not very good for you. So you won't find much of it in this book. Grated cheese, canned tomatoes, canned broth all have sufficient salt for most of these recipes. Besides, I know you wouldn't want to muck up the natural taste of the fresh ingredients we will be using in the recipes that follow.
That's excellent.
Basically, when I was, and it didn't even resonate with me because I've been doing that for years. but there was, and so he was kind of far ahead of his time as well.
Right, and I've learned, and I've been following some recipes. I've been recently getting the Hello Fresh, and they say salt. Add a little salt. I always believed in adding salt to the pasta water. Um, and the only thing I ever added salt on my food was if it was French fries that weren't salted or corn on the cob. It was just
Oh yes,
it's one of those things, and it's like I don't even. It, even if I'm eating something prepared, whether it's a restaurant, your house, or whatever, I never add salt to anything. There's no
yeah,
need for it. I don't believe in it. But there's some people that it's like a knee jerk reaction. Grab that salt shaker, and
exactly.
go to town. So,
Yeah,
but I've also learned that I stopped on the directions of adding salt because, like you said, I'm cooking with broth, cooking with tomato. There is plenty of salt in it, and I stopped doing it because
yeah,
the stuff was too salty,
yep,
and that's not
exactly.
good. Salty is
No,
a nice, it's a preservative, and it does enhance flavor. But when you do too much, now you're eating salt. You're not eating
that's
real.
right. Exactly. And you're masking all those wonderful natural flavors.
Right.
So we're going to start with pears and red wine. Now you can also do this with peaches, but you can't find peaches in the shops this time. So
No,
I'm doing it
and if
with
you do, you should be wary where they came from. This
pears.
time of year.
And here's another thing. Here are pears that have been peeled and sliced. And what I'm going to do is I did not poach these. Although, if you go to my paella show, the dessert in that is poached pears with cabrala wine and blue cheese, where you do poach the pears and wine. You might remember that
I
show.
I do remember because I saw the operation. Then the blue cheese intrigued me. Blue cheese
Yeah.
and pears just don't
Oh,
seem
yeah.
right. And then I had to taste it, and it's like, oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
delish.
Definitely. So as you can see, I'm going to have leftover because this recipe called for 4 pears. I used 3. I'm only making 2 wine glasses. So you could literally make 4 right
Right.
here.
Now, how are those pears? Are those like uh, snappy? Are they soft? What are they like?
They're raw
No, no, I mean
and
consistent because sometimes you get a soft one, sometimes you
yep,
get hard ones.
these are firm.
Yeah, okay.
So they'll be nice and crunchy. And what I'm going to do is just pour a little wine over the pears. Okay. And as a matter of fact, you know how much I love wine. I'm going to pour a little more so that when we're done eating the pears, we can drink the wine.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, not much wine goes to waste in that household.
No, most definitely. So that's that. And what you do is you just set it aside. So isn't that beautiful?
That's easy.
Yeah, easy and beautiful and French and crunchy.
Right now, you
And we have
could
the
you change
wine
that
for
up?
later.
Could you change that up and use like a margarita glass or a
Oh, yes.
martini glass or anything?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. So I'm going to put these in here to chill. And I'll throw the other pears in, keep those refrigerated. And then I'm going to turn on the stove because I want to get this heated up for our next dish, which is Dom's Sisters green beans. And what I have here is 1 pound of green beans. And you can blanch them or steam them or not. And you can let them sit in the pan a little longer. I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil, a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, and a little bit of basil. So I'm going to add the oil to the pan.
Okay.
And I'm going to add the green beans. And I just want to stir these around, give the beans nice little coating. And these are gonna sit here, okay? For, I'm gonna say maybe a half an hour on medium heat, okay? Now you can do them a lot quicker. Like I said, you can blanch them. You can blanch them, steam them, and just run it through the pan really quickly. When they're just about done, I'm going to toss them with the breadcrumbs and the Parmesan cheese and a little bit of basil. I'll do that while they're still in the pan, and then I'll plate it.
That's fantastic. I love string beans. String beans and asparagus are my two favorites.
Is that
And I've cooked them up so many different ways. And in the way that I'm seeing here today, I already took the recipe down. And on my next order, next trip to Price Chopper, it's going to be string beans for dinner.
That's wonderful. And we have asparagus in the salad. So you'll get your other favorite.
There you go.
So what I have next is your veal piccata.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. And what we have here, we have 1 pound of veal, which is thinly sliced and, cut decent sizes. I have flour. I have butter. I have a half a pound of mushrooms sliced. I have a half a lemon, which I'm going to sprinkle over the
Yep.
pan. And then I have my white wine, half a cup of white wine. I have parsley and lemon slices. And that I'm going to put over here because when the dish is done, I'll top the dish with the lemon slices
Yes.
and with the parsley.
Excellent.
So what we're going to do right off the bat.
Now, did you prepare these cutlets yourself, or did you ask your butcher to get them nice and thin?
Price Chopper, a little.
Aren't they wonderful?
For them. I love it. I'm going to roll up my sleeves, and I'm actually going to take my rings off because it's going to be messy, okay? But it's not like you're doing the fed, flour, egg, and breadcrumbs. It's just flour. So it'll go by quick and not as messy. Now, once you do this, you can let it sit in the fridge for a little while because it doesn't hurt for the flour to adhere.
Right. Yeah, my grandmother taught me that a long, long time ago. I was a little kid, because I says, well, why don't you just put in the oil? And she says, no, it goes in the fridge for a while. And she says, this way here, you don't have the crumbs all over the place and not on the meat. So I learned that a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that makes it nice too, because that means, you can get a lot of prepping done ahead of time, because you see how messy this gets.
Yeah.
In the hand washing and so forth. You get this all done ahead of time, do other things, and then when it's time to cook, bam, pull them out and do it.
Bam is right. Yep. So when I can hear the green beans, they're starting to sizzle. So once I finish this and wash my hands, I'll turn that down so that it goes on a slow heat. But this is beautiful. This is not even 2 pounds of veal, and look at how many slices
Yeah.
I get, which is nice. And it's for the most part lean and healthy. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of the excess flour and my plate and get rid of this extra flour on the table. And then I'm going to wash my hands. So I'll be right back, Mike.
Oh, that's good. I mean, while you're gone, I wanted to tell everybody what's coming up. We'll have this weekend some sports on HCAM Ed. We will have soccer and field hockey on Saturday and Sunday. Sunday morning, we'll have combined Christian services. That's with the three churches in town: the Community Covenant, the Sanctuary at Woodville, and the St. Paul's Episcopal Church. So that's on Sunday. Monday, we're back in the afternoon with another Hopkins Hangout Hour. And also coming up on Wednesday, it'll be Veterans Day services. We'll be covering the veterans events as they take place on Wednesday around 11 o'clock because, the 11th month, 11th day, 11th hour. So stay tuned for that.
That sounds wonderful.
And of course, if you want to see the recipes and for this, just look at the description of this show. When you go to our playlist and you look at any of her programs, any of the past episodes of The Gathering Quarantine, all the recipes are in the description section. If you go to hcam.tv/The Gathering, and you see the other shows when she was doing the parties, when we remember those days? Seems so long ago. But you go there and there's a recipe section for all the big meals that you cook there. So,
Sounds wonderful. And I'm going to add the butter to the pan. And I added just a little bit of oil in there too, because it's not a bad idea to mix the two
right.
when you're frying. Hey, girls, what you doing? I'm telling you, they're worse than dogs. Every time I'm in the kitchen, they're like, what's up, what's up?
But they don't hop up on the table, so that's awesome.
Yeah, they know when mommy's around, they better not be doing that.
Especially if they see a knife in your hand, right?
Exactly. Yep. Okay, so this will take a few minutes to get hot, I want to say. Maybe I'll turn it up just a bit. And I will check these green beans. They look beautiful. I can show these to you.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yep, very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That's a nice.
Yep, it is. Okay, and then once these veal slices get in, they're so thin, it'll take no time whatsoever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll go fast.
Yep. And yeah, so, and you can tell, you'll be able to tell when the butter starts to sizzle. I mean, can you hear the green beans?
Yep, there it is.
Yep. And this recipe is quite simple, right?
Seems very simple.
Yeah. And I have a little trick what I'm cooking with tonight for the wine. Guess what I'm using?
What are you using?
Vermouth.
Vermouth, really?
I am. It is an aromatic wine.
Yes. The aroma from it is fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another favorite place I like vermouth is in my martinis.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. Oh, so I thought that would be a little different. Now I'm going to add the veal. And this will take a couple of batches, I'm sure. But already I can hear them start to sizzle. And that's good. That's always good. Okay, that's a full pan. Okie doke. So, interesting about the election.
I tell you, I knew there was by the time we did the show tonight that we weren't going to have an answer, which is even more reason to need this comfort because
Yeah.
I turned to the news and this guy presses the button, turns it red, turns it blue, turns it red. And everyone's just guessing and assuming and assuming and assuming. It's like, just tell me who won.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Absolutely.
I
Because
just, I'm glad it's over. But now this here, this almost makes it worse than all the ads that they played on television.
yeah, but you know what? No, those ads being gone is a good thing.
Yes, you're right. They are.
So yeah, so that's a really good thing. But you know what's for the most part, and we all know who we are. We're Americans.
Yeah.
So it's like, if your guy didn't get in, well, you buck up, you go through the next 4 years, and we repeat the process,
That's
right?
That's what it's all about. It's the best process in the whole world. And
Yeah.
fortunate enough to live where we live and have the freedoms. I wasn't like a lot of my friends that voted early. I like going the day of. I like being
Same
part of that
here.
process. I love seeing all the volunteers at our polling place at the Brown Gym.
Yes.
It's just so nice. It just makes my day. I even got a sticker this year. This is my first time I ever got a sticker. Because usually by the time I go there, the stickers are gone.
Look, mine's on my fridge.
I see it right there in the corner.
And do you know why? Because of the mail-in vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was fortunate. And I know Hopkins still not done counting yet because I got an email from the clerk inviting us to witness the count on Monday.
Wow.
So they will be counting all the mail-in ballots and finishing it all on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought that was weird, but I mean, I'm glad we don't use the county system like they do everywhere else, because boom, our votes are done. Unlike the counties, I mean, look what's going on: Arizona, Pennsylvania, thousands and thousands of boxes going to these centers, and it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's all crazy. It's all crazy. But we will know soon enough. And you know what? The whole thing is, so if it takes a month, it takes a month.
Right.
This is like the most important thing that we have to get right. So, right? You can't just.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I really do like the Electoral College. A lot of people want to get rid of it. I just, it's just tough to go up against some, like, how can you let California, Texas, decide your whole.
Well, exactly. You can't.
The colleges worked for over 200 years, so why not?
Yeah. They knew what they were doing back then.
Yeah, they did.
There were some pretty smart guys, I have to say.
Yeah, they started with nothing.
And they started here.
That's right.
Here.
Massachusetts.
Hey, hold on. My seltzer water.
I get my Sprite.
Yeah,
So I just I was looking up Dom's book, Eat This, and I just bought it used for $4.79 from what's it, thriftbooks.com. And so I just bought the book. I just bought the cookbook.
awesome. Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, and I just got it. It's for $4.79, like new hardcover.
Oh.
How can you go wrong?
Go get the hardcover.
Oh yeah, if it's gonna be in the kitchen, it needs to be a hardcover.
Yeah. Well, I've got a message in my book from my mom, so I can't ever get rid of that. That's for sure.
Oh, of course not.
Yep.
So what is some of your favorite recipes out of this book that you like, that you can remember?
Meatballs, lasagna, stuffed shells. Stuffed shells. Chelsea's favorite. Now, my grandmother, my father's mother, was from Naples. And when she made her lasagna, I think we've had this conversation before. Her lasagna was just noodles, ricotta, noodles, ricotta, noodles, ricotta, sauce. Okay, sauce on the bottom.
Yes.
But just in the middle, all noodles and ricotta. So that when you sliced into it, that slice stood up. And then you put your gravy over it, and you had your meatballs and your sausages and your braciole on the side. When I first went over to a friend's house and they had the meat sauce in with the layers, gave me a piece. It's like all over the plate. I'm going, what is this? And do you know you cannot find a recipe for lasagna with just noodles, ricotta, ricotta?
Yeah.
You can't. It's not
My,
out.
my grandmother was the same way, but on the layer of noodles, she always topped it with sauce. So she had, like a thin thing of sauce, she topped it off with. And she never had meat. I never heard of meat before. I went to someone's house and I was like, whoa, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
I never heard of it because she made, when she made sauce, she had three things of it going because one was just sauce, and then she had to put meat in all of them. So, we had our meat on the side. We had our braciole, we had our sausage, we had our meatballs, pork and chicken. You always had to have some kind of pork in there. Pork, the flavor from that. To this day, I still throw pork in as much as possible in every sauce that I make.
Love it.
A good chicken leg too. That's good too.
These veal slices are browning up quite nicely. Quite nicely. And again, if you wanted a veal cutlet, you throw on the egg and the breadcrumbs. But not for this dish.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to put some more oil in here. It's always good to have extra oil when you're frying. Give it a good dusting so that when it browns, you've got the flour adhering to the cutlet. And I know we talked about my grandmother, my mother's mother, who worked. She beaded wedding gowns, the House of Bianca, Priscilla's, Olga's, and so she worked. And she could never cook sauce 3 days on the stove like my father's mother. But one of her favorite dishes was veal cutlet. And I'll tell you, just one of our favorites. You eat them cold for breakfast, anytime.
It's funny watching you cook the cutlets. You remind me of my grandmother when she used to cook, and she used to make her meal. She would go to the butcher shop right around the corner, Sal's, and she would go there especially and just get veal for her dog. Scruffy had the best meals, and she would bread the veal. She'd make it like she was making it for us, but it was just for Scruffy. We did not eat as good as that dog.
I love it. Yep, I buy it. I do. I get it. Now, these are looking beautiful. Okay? And these are almost done. I'm going to see how the green beans are coming. They're looking really good. Okay? And now, once this gets going, actually, once it finishes, I'm going to gonna leave all the bits in here. I'm not going to clean the pan because I'm going to deglaze it with the wine and the lemon juice. And you, what are you doing in here? I wish you could see her. She is so cute.
Yeah, once in a while we get to see the tail go by, like a shark fin. Sometimes,
Yeah,
once in a while we get to see that.
exactly. Okay, so we're almost done here. Okay. This is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And you can hear that sizzle, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. We'll need that overhead camera sometime soon. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn down the heat a little bit, turn the fan on because that is starting to smoke a little. And I'm going to take my mushrooms. I'm going to add these in. And I'm going to stir those around. Okay. Stir these around for a little bit. I'll add a little more olive oil. Okay. And a nice coating on that. Okay. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah. So Terry, when we're back a couple weeks, I hear you're gonna stop by the Hangout Hour on Wednesday.
I am. Someone asked me to come by
That
and
sounds
chat
great.
about my culinary skills and my writing skills and everything else I'm skilled at.
So
I
that's gonna
even
be
sing.
so Wednesday, November 18th, 7 p.m. We'll see you on the Hangout Hour. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, so these are coming right along. I'm going to add my vermouth. You can hear that.
Oh yeah.
You can see that steam. And this is going to make a nice little gravy. I'm going to get up all the bits. And let me tell you, whoa, that smells wonderful. I'm going to let that sit there for a little bit, turn down the heat just a bit. I'm going to take this half lemon and I'm going to squeeze it in the pan. And I see a seed. I just want to grab
It
it.
happens. I know. I hate when I miss that.
There were two. Not bad. At least I got them.
Better find it now than better than finding it later.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So I'm just going to let these go for a little bit. And I think I'm going to bring on the last item on the menu. Look at this.
That's a lot of stuff.
Oh, wait, you haven't even seen half of it yet. So this right here, and Dom's got a good section of this on in the book. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of things here,
You sure do.
right? And then we've got a whole lot of ingredients for Dom's vinaigrette. So we'll get into that in a little bit. Okay, so this is Viva Montalban salad with Dom's vinaigrette. And what we have here is 1 head of Bibb lettuce, 1 head of radicchio, 6 artichoke hearts, but I have a few more. Now, just before I go on, the recipe calls for building this on single plates. You know, I like going big, right? So I'm going to do it on this plate, and I'm going to get all of this on here, and we're going to see how that works. So my ingredients here are a little more than the recipe, but if you want to do it like this, you just expand it a little bit with however many people you're feeding. So then I have 6 tablespoons of sour cream. Now this I've got 6 hard-boiled eggs chopped, but you could go finely chopped white onion or caviar. I chose to do the eggs. Radishes, blanched asparagus, black olives, and a cucumber. Sliced and with the fork run down the side. I was thinking of you when I was doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm just going to check on the mushrooms. I think these are good and done. I'm going to turn these off. My green beans look done. So what I'm going to do is, just so you can see this. Actually, you know what? I'll wait till I put this salad together. I'm just going to turn that off. I'm going to turn the beans off because those are all good to go. We'll build the salad. Then we'll bring the veal piccata over. So you want to take the Bibb lettuce.
Now the Bibb lettuce, that's a type of like butter lettuce, right?
It is. It
The
is.
smaller?
And it's just beautiful. It's got the curly edges.
Yep.
You know, it's nice and fresh. Okay. Then you're going to take your radicchio and put that in the center. Now, Dom in the book, Ricardo's wife, Georgiana, invented this. And he said, this salad is so classy, but she's the classiest woman I know.
Yeah.
And he goes, Ricardo is one lucky guy, which, you know, yep, I'm sure he was. He looked like it on Fantasy Island anyway.
You sure did. Now, see, I always thought, like, if I didn't know what the recipe was, I would assume that would be cabbage and not radicchio. And there is a difference. There's a difference. You know, radicchio is bitter and a spicy taste to it, unlike cabbage. So.
Right, right. So then we're going to put the artichoke hearts in the center. Okay. And these are packed in water because we've got some special flavors here. You don't want to be messing with that either.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
Okay. Now for here, you're going to take dollops of sour cream right on the artichokes. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the eggs and put these on top. As you can see, this is going to be a quite colorful salad too. So that when you get any part of this, it's just going to be layers and layers of wonderfulness. Right?
All different flavors, all different textures.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about the lemons. I'm going to bring the lemons over.
Got to bring the lemons over.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to surround the perimeter with the asparagus, and you're going to put them kind of like 2 by 2 on the edges. Okay? And then we're going to take the radishes and you're just going to place those around. Radishes are interesting on themselves, right?
Right.
They're quite nice raw. And I don't think people do enough with radishes. So I thought it was a nice combination here. And then you just, filter in. You want to keep the pattern going so that it's somewhat symmetrical. Is that a good word?
So, yeah, symmetrical. I like that.
Okay. Then of course, anything left over gets eaten for sure.
Absolutely.
Then we're gonna go carrots, little baby carrots. So now you can see this is like a meal in itself, right?
Yeah, you look like you have 6 to 8 servings there.
It could be. Could be. Or in this household, maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe 3, right?
Yep. Whew. There's one for the cats. Okay. Just want to pick that up with the napkin. Oh, yeah, Shirley's over there.
Yeah.
Mommy got it before. There she goes again. And then the black olives. You want to drizzle around the perimeter. And of course, you build it how you like. But can you see once we do get back into having gatherings, you want to take your quartered lemon and surround the center.
There you go.
Now, how about that?
That looks fantastic.
Is that beautiful?
A lot
And
of color,
then-
a lot of flavor.
Yeah. And then for our dressing, let me bring everything over. I can show you before I put it all together in my trusty little shaker.
1970s Tupperware.
Yes, I love it. So I have a half a cup of olive oil, half a cup of wine vinegar. I've got 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 teaspoon of dried dill, 1 scallion slice, 1 lemon juice quart. Well, yep, right here, lemon juice. The lemon quarter goes on with the salad. And then I have 1 dried teaspoon of oregano, basil, and thyme, and the 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So I'm just gonna put everything all in. And here's a trick that Dom had. If you want this to be a creamy vinaigrette, add 2 tablespoons of sour cream.
There you go.
That was his trick. I'm gonna put my lemon juice in, and then my wine vinegar, and my olive oil. Okay. I'm gonna make sure everything is nice and shut. Go like that. And that looks nice, right?
That looks perfect.
Yeah. And this will yield about 1.25 cups. I'm gonna put that here. Actually, I'm gonna put this right over here. And then I'm gonna get my green beans. We're gonna plate these. Green beans are done. Okay. I'm just going to take my breadcrumbs, sprinkle those, and sprinkle the cheese. These a nice little toss, right?
That's it.
So, and that is it.
They still got the staff to them, or how they cooked? How did you cook? Do they have the staff to them still? Nice.
They're al dente.
Great.
They're perfect. Yum. Okay. And again, I didn't use it all. You can, but that was enough. Now, here's my veal.
All ready to go. Look
Is
at
that
that.
beautiful?
Perfectly done.
Yes. Now I'm going to add my mushrooms. As you can see, right? I wish you could smell them. They are amazing. And again, this is a fairly quick dinner to put together.
Sure is.
Most people are going back to work and, they're back on that schedule. But one thing they don't have to let go of is cooking at home, especially with the latest restrictions put in place.
Yeah, right. Everyone's gonna be home by, you leave the restaurant by 9:30, home by 10.
Yep, I'm putting the rest of the sauce
Well, there you go.
over. Okay, then I'm going to top this off with lemon slices. Okay. And then a little bit of parsley.
I get the little green on there. Nice.
Yes. And then on top of the beans, I want to put a little bit of basil.
Oh.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Now, I think I want to pull out from the fridge our pears. And how's this for dessert?
That's a good dessert.
Now, that might be a little adult dessert, but hey, who's complaining, right?
Right, we're all adults here.
I'm not complaining.
So, what did you choose for the wine for the night,
It's a Shiraz.
Mr. Shiraz?
Yeah. Yep. And I could have gone white, but I needed red for the pears. So I thought, well, let me do that.
Which makes sense. That makes perfect sense. So
Yeah.
there you go. Here you are. 50 minutes for this fantastic meal. It's the colors. I mean, that just it almost. I mean, from here, anyways, it looks like a very summery looking salad that you got there with all the colors going.
True, but you could also look at it as a kind of fall color thing because you have your oranges, your maroons, the reds, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
That
So
looks great.
so
So,
that's good.
so now here you have all this food,
Yes.
and like I said, the salad alone looks like you could feed 8 people. So that's awesome. So now let's talk a little bit about it's you and your brother there.
Yes.
You get all this food.
Yeah.
So packaging it, you make yourselves. Do you keep everything separate and say, all right, I'm just gonna take this today, or do you say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna make meal number one, meal number two, meal number three? How do you do it?
Nope. It all goes, whatever we don't have for dinner goes in the fridge and we take it when we want it.
That's how you do it, right? See, me,
Yeah.
I'm more of a prepper. So cooking for one is like the worst thing ever. So,
Oh, don't say that.
oh no, but I say because first off, I love to feed people.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you do,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and have dinner with some. But you make so much food. So my type is like I will portion and lay it out so it's grab it later and take it.
Yep. Yep.
And some things like a casserole. Yeah, I'll leave that in the dish and keep it covered and
Uh-huh.
take from that.
Yes.
But something like that, like the salad, I can see myself making a bunch of salads to go.
Uh-huh. Sure.
So that's how I would do it, making as much food as you have.
Yep. That sounds good.
But I
Sounds
don't
good.
think I would be okay. The boss would be okay me taking the dessert into work.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to try one right here. Mm. Very nice.
Oh, I bet.
Mm. Mm.
So what do you think we got going on? We're gonna be back in a couple weeks. We're off next week.
You will be, and then we'll be close to Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So I'm thinking maybe something with leftovers.
Mm.
But I'm not really decided because one Thanksgiving, my parents decided to go the pilgrim route, but it really wasn't the pilgrims. Well, yeah, I guess it was with the Indians, right?
Right.
And she did all seafood. So we had lobsters, we had baked stuffed shrimp and scallops, cherry stones to start.
Wow.
And so that was more like that first Thanksgiving because that's
Sure.
what the Indians brought to the table.
Right.
So I was kind of thinking about maybe doing something like that.
No, that's
Because
good.
if you go to the website and go to the gathering, we do have Terry's 2 Thanksgivings on there,
Yes.
where on one weekend I did one Thanksgiving in New Jersey, and then I came back here and I had Thanksgiving with Chelsea and Speegs.
Right.
And I cooked 2 complete dinners, and that was still a half an hour show. So
That's great.
like,
Well, and like I love telling people, growing up in Malden and growing up basically learning everything from my grandmother. I was, 16 years old before I realized that not everyone had raviolis for Thanksgiving.
yeah,
And that's what we used to. I mean, the Thanksgiving and the Christmas time was magical moment because she'd be there all morning long,
oh
making
yeah,
the raviolis, rolling out the dough, rolling out, making the regatta, and bring them, transfer. She'd have a big sheet over her king size bed
Oh.
and drying them on the bed.
Yeah.
And it was just a fantastic time. And yes, Christmas time, Easter, we had a ham, we had a turkey there, but that was always set in the back until the main meal was done. The salads, the raviolis, the all the meats, and so when you're hanging around later in the day, now we're picking a turkey, we're picking
Oh,
a ham.
yes. Oh, yes. Oh,
But
it's perfect.
it was a great way to grow up. It was interesting. Now, I love a traditional Thanksgiving. As a matter of fact, I'm working at the firehouse for Thanksgiving,
Oh,
and
thank you for your service.
we already have our meal planned out, and
Nice.
get the turkey and all the fixings and so forth. So it's nice, if I'm not with my family, I'm with my other family. So that's always a good feeling.
Absolutely. Now,
So you got thanks.
speaking of past holidays, other holidays, I should say. Are you familiar with Pizza Gana
Hmm.
or Easter pie? Let me
Yes.
tell you, my mother used to make it. I've never made one. I'm gonna make one.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know when I'm gonna make one, but I'm gonna make one. Maybe that'll be a future show.
Yeah, my sister's my nephew's wife made one, and it was
Oh,
phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. My mother used to call it her ricotta pie, but a lot of Italians call it the Easter Gana.
Yeah, Easter Gator. Yeah.
Gana, and I was like, what the heck is that? Oh, the ricotta pie. Yeah, yeah, we have those. I
So it
want
looks like
to.
everyone's going to be getting a small bird for Thanksgiving this year, because you're not allowed to have more than 10 people at the house
That's all
now.
right. I'll still get a big bird.
There's a meme going around all over social media with the police coming to your door. He says, "Yeah, you're under arrest. We saw you buy a 15-pound turkey."
Nice, good one.
But no, I think it's wonderful, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward for seeing you again in 2 weeks.
And I'm just so looking forward to the holidays, and we're here. And I just want to toast HCAM. I love you all. Thank you for everything. And I love all you viewers. So thank you for tuning in. And we're just going to be getting into the new year, and it's going to be a new time. And I think if everyone keeps positive, we're all going to be fine, because we are America, and
Yeah.
this is still the best place on earth to be. So with that, I want to wish everybody a wonderful week.
Yes, enjoy yourselves. Have a great week, and we'll get through this here. Maybe we'll have some answers by the weekend. Who knows?
Who knows? Or maybe not. It could be 3 months down the road.
Oh, yeah, it could be anything. So
It could be
it's going to
anything.
happen. We'll have the answers. But Terry, again, thank you very much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Awesome. Take care, guys. Woo-hoo. All right. I think I'm going to try one of these. So we're off.
I think so. Just wait for Bob.
Oh,